everybody, Dr. Kate with the Healthy Pet Veterinary Clinic coming to you today to start off our vaccine series of videos. So we have talked about doing a series of videos on vaccines so that you can understand more of what they are, what they do, how they protect your pet, and why we recommend them. So that's what we're going to start with today, and we're going to start with the most important one in my opinion and in the opinion of most public health officials, and that's rabies vaccine. So what does the rabies vaccine do? It protects against the rabies virus. Rabies virus, typically we think of it in our wildlife, right? Our raccoons, our foxes, skunks, bats are often a source of rabies in our environment, but it can also infect our dogs and our cats and humans, which is why we feel it's the most important vaccine that every animal have, and you are required by law to get, which we'll talk about at the very end. But we don't typically see it in our squirrels or rabbits or rodents. They're prey animals. They usually don't survive the attack, so we don't see rabies typically in them, but we do in other wildlife. So how is it spread? So when an infected animal who has the rabies virus bites another uninfected animal, they transmit the virus through the bite, through the saliva. And the saliva has the virus in it, and the virus goes through the bite wound, finds a nerve close by, and then travels that nerve all the way up to the brain, causes a syndrome called encephalopathy. And that encephalopathy is kind of a brain disease that then leads to the symptoms we typically see in our pets and in wildlife infected with rabies. So what are those symptoms? Well, they are not the typical foaming up the mouth that we all think about and associate with rabies, but they're more likely to be something along the lines of just an animal acting abnormally, having trouble getting up, moving around, staggering like they're drunk, or being a little bit more aggressive than usual. Or sometimes we see them be more friendly. So if you have a raccoon or a fox that's acting very interested in you and wants to follow you around and is coming close to you rather than running away from you, which would be the typical and expected response, that's the one you need to worry about, may be infected with rabies, and you're going to want to get to a safe place and get away from that animal. So from the time of infection, so when an uninfected animal is bitten by an infected animal, to the time we start seeing symptoms is typically 1 to 3 months, and the very time it takes to show the symptoms varies based on a number of factors. But 1 to 3 months is typically what we expect to see. And this virus is deadly. If an animal has the virus and bites another one and they are not treated not given the vaccine prior to, then they are going to die, unfortunately, and that's what we don't want to have happen, right? We love our pets, we want to keep them protected, and we want to keep ourselves protected. So the best thing you can do is get the rabies vaccine. It's the best prevention, and it's simple. It's one vaccine given once a year, or depending on the vaccine given, some are 3-year vaccines, so we only have to give it every 3 years. But it depends on the animal, the veterinarian, or the county on whether or not we give the 1s or the 3s. But either way, both of them protect. There's also a killed virus, and then for our cat patients, there is another form called a non-adjuvanted form of rabies, which we'll talk about in another video series. But in general, simple 1-year or 3-year vaccine protects your pet and keeps them safe from potentially ever getting this deadly virus. And to keep our pets safe, all of these vaccines have to be given by a licensed veterinarian only. That is a state requirement. No one other than a veterinarian can give this vaccine, and it's because it's a public health issue. So that's why you have to come see a veterinarian to get it. And one of the biggest things as a mother I want to share is we need to teach our kids about wildlife and protecting them from this deadly disease and being around animals who may be infected. So one of the easiest things you can do is teach your kids about how to approach and be around other animals or other wildlife, and that's to teach them this little phrase, to love your own but leave others alone. So that applies to other cats and dogs, but also wildlife. If they see something out in the nature or whatever that they want to go touch that animal, just teach them, love your own but leave others alone. So to wrap it up, rabies, deadly virus, can affect humans, can affect our pets, something we don't want to have to deal with, and we don't want to see because it's devastating. I want you to know that it is required by law. So in the state of Georgia, you are required to have your pet vaccinated. And if you don't, there are severe and very devastating consequences for your pet potentially if you are found to not have a pet who is vaccinated, or that pet who is unvaccinated has bit another person or another animal. So let's just protect our pets. It's an easy vaccine. Let's get them into a veterinarian. Any veterinarian, to be honest with you. I just want to see your pet protected and your family protected from this deadly virus. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, reach out or comment below, and we will do our best to get right back to you. You can also message us through Facebook for any additional questions about this virus, about the vaccine, or how it works in your pet and to protect your family. So keep watching our Facebook page. We'll post more videos about vaccines. The next one we're going to do is on distemper vaccines in dogs. So we'll cover that and give you more information, because information will help you understand why we want to protect your pet through these vaccines. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.